Hi, all of you. Is my sound is audible?
Yes.
So we were in the Docker and we created some custom images yesterday. Okay. So just let me connect. Okay. So let's become the root user. Okay. And yesterday, if you remember, some of the container also we created. So first, let me just, okay, all the containers are already deleted. Let me just check for the images that we created. So yesterday we created these images, test Python v2, test Python v1, my new OS. Okay. Why we created two different versions, that also I given you the idea yesterday. Okay. Today, my goal is to run a web server type of the thing, okay, inside this Docker. So for that, we'll be creating a image. So again, we can create the image using the commit command. Also, we can create the image using by writing the Docker file also. Okay, we'll be writing the Docker file. So first thing what I'm going to do is for creating the website or something, right? I want to host a website inside a Docker container. That is my goal. So there are something you have to understand here. The first thing to host any website, what is the first thing you are going to write? You will be writing a website, right? So I'm creating a directory here with the name called slash web server. I'm going inside this particular directory, cd slash web server. And inside this directory, I am creating a file with the name called index.php. Okay. And inside this file, I'm going to write the content. Okay. I'm going to write the content. So here, if you'll see this pre to pre tag, basically just you have to do the copy paste. This will create a PHP website content here. Okay. But if we'll try to see what is the thing, so the first thing is the background color. We are just writing it to my website, and then you can just write it here in place of welcome to test web server. You can simply write here welcome to Docker web server 27, something like this. Okay. And why I written the command call slash usr slash sbin slash ifconfig. Okay, so that also I will tell you. Just let me save this file. Okay. So basically the thing is I can get the output of the IP address using the ifconfig command. Okay. But even if you'll type the command call slash usr slash sbin slash ifconfig, then also you'll get the exactly same output. Okay. And if you'll ask the question here that which ifconfig, so they are giving the path here slash has been slash ifconfig. Okay. So that's the reason, like whenever you are writing some command, you want that some Docker container is going to run some command, right? And especially in the PHP programming languages. Okay. So rather than just writing the command, we have to write the entire path. Okay. Then only this PHP will be able to execute the command inside the Docker container. Directly ifconfig cannot work. So that's why I written the entire path. So either you type this command or type just the ifconfig, both are going to give the same output, but inside the Docker container, we have to give the entire path, then only that command will run, okay, inside that Linux machine. So that's why we are writing the entire path here, okay, because you know that Docker container uses the same kernel, right? So they don't know like what is the command. So basically we have to hit using the entire path of that, and entire path you can always find it using the command called which ifconfig. So sbin slash ifconfig is coming, usr will be in the starting, and whatever the path is there that is coming, that you can just write it here. So once we are ready with this index.php file, so basically till now what we done, we created a web server directory. Inside that we created a file with the name called index.php. Inside this we written this content. Okay. After doing all these things, now we are going to create a Docker file. So you know that whenever you are going to write a Docker file, so you have to create a file with the exactly same name as the Docker file only. Okay, so vi capital D Docker file. In this Docker file, the first thing you are always going to mention is the base image. So what is my base image? So from will be capital, and then the base image CentOS 7. Okay, this is my the base image. Okay. Now on this particular base image, currently software like HTTPD, everything is not installed, right? So what are the commands we have to run? So we'll be using the command here, run. And then I'm saying that you have to install the HTTPD, then you have to install the PHP. Okay, so both the package they will install, right? HTTPD and PHP. And you know that in the CentOS 7, if you remember yesterday's class, we are not able to hit the ifconfig command, right? And to run the ifconfig command, we had to download a package called nettools. Okay, hope all of you remember that. In yesterday's class, we talk about nettools package, wget package. So until and unless nettools package you are not going to download inside this CentOS 7 image, you cannot hit the ifconfig command. That's why I am downloading that package also, and simply I am giving the -y. So now it will take the base image from CentOS 7 and then they will try to install this three software. Once this three software will be installed, then I'm saying that do one thing. You have to copy a file. Which file you have to copy? Index.php of file that just we created in the same directory, right? Index.php file we just created. That particular file you have to copy and you have to paste it to which location? /var/www/html. If you remember the AWS class, this was the location where we have to keep our website content, then only website will be visible. Okay. Now, after doing all these things, our website is going to run on which port? It is going to run as a HTTP website, right? So HTTP runs on the port 80. So we have to expose, like if you remember in the AWS classes also, we had to expose the security group, right? Of the port 80, then only website will be visible. So exactly same thing here, you have to expose. Which port? I want to expose the port 80. So other outer people can able to connect on the port 80 on this Docker container, so they will be able to see the website. Okay, now the last thing is you have to start the HTTPD package, right? Once the HTTPD is installed, you have to do the systemctl start HTTPD. Okay, so let me just save this file. It is not currently completed. So currently this is our EC2 instance. I'm not inside any Docker container or something currently. Okay, so take an example inside our this EC2 instance. If I'm installing the software like yum install httpd-y. So currently I'm just installing the httpd-y package. Okay, and if I will try to do the systemctl start httpd, then this package is going to be started, right? But if I'll check for a status that whether this package got started or not in the base EC2 instance machine. So what they are saying is it is running, but how it got started by using the systemctl start httpd command. You are thinking that you are typing this command, but actually in the backend, this command is getting typed to start the HTTPD package. Entire path. I said you right that you have to give the entire path, and since we are starting it in the background, that's why we have to give the -d foreground like that. Okay. So if somebody is going to copy this command from here, this is exactly equal to the systemctl start HTTPD. Inside the Docker file, you will be not able to write the systemctl start HTTPD. So you have to go with this particular path only. Okay. So once we got that, this is the path we have to write, right? Now I can remove the HTTPD package from the base machine because I don't require that in my base machine. So now you got the path, right? Which path we have to write. So if I'll go inside the Docker file again, so we have to simply say cmd, right? You have to write the command using the cmd. Why using the cmd? Because uh, when we have to start the HTTPD package, anybody remember why we are using the cmd, not the run here? Yesterday I given you the example, no? We used yesterday cmd command, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Remember what was the
Yes.
reason? In the Python we done it, if you remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually.
So CMD was basically helping us if your container is getting created, right? So as soon as container will create, which command you want to hit it, right? Like yesterday we written CMD Python 3. So what was happening
Yeah.
as soon as container was getting created, that particular command was running. So exactly
Yeah.
same thing. As soon as this container will be created, what they will do? They will start the HTTPD package. Then only our website will be visible, right? Because everything is going to be copied in the starting only. Okay, just I have to start the package. That's it, and start basically the HTTPD service, and our website will be visible. That's why we are writing the CMD here. If you will write up to here, then your entire image is going to be created. Simply save this file. I don't know this. Right. escape colon wq. Okay. Now simply say docker. I want to build the image. Then definitely you will be writing some tag here. What is the tag now I will be giving? Since I want that this particular image, I want to upload it to the my Docker Hub also, right? So you're saying that if I uploaded any image in the Docker Hub, so it is following some rules and regulation here that your image name should always be start with the Roy Kisanet like that. Because in my case, my username is Roy Kisanet. Okay. So whatever the image, if I am going to upload it here, so I will make sure that my naming convention start with the Roy Kisanet only. So it will be something like this. Docker build -t, then give the name. So basically you have to write your Docker Hub username slash, then whatever the image name you want to write. Take an example, I want to write web server cloud 27. Okay. And I want to give the latest tag. Okay. And where is the Docker file present? So Docker file is present inside the web server directory. That's it. So I'm saying that Docker, you have to build the image and then give this particular name and take the Docker file from the web server directory. If I press enter, so they are taking the base image as CentOS 7. Now they are going to install the HTTPD, PHP, NetTools, all the three software they will try to install one by one. Once the PHP installation is done, HTTPD installation is done, everything, then they will try to copy the index.php file. Then they will try to expose the things. Okay. And they written the information also for the CMD that as soon as some container will be started, this command I have to hit it. And I created a image with this particular name. So if I'll clear it and I will say that Docker, can you show me the list of images? So they are clearly saying here that somebody created a new image with the name called Roy Kisanet slash web server cloud 27 with the tag called latest version. Okay. 19 second ago, size is 479 MB. Okay. Now this image got created everything, right? Now, you know what is going to happen if somebody is going to start a container from here. Okay. Like if we are going to start the container like this, Docker run, okay, -it interactive terminal, and from the image called Roy Kitchen 8 slash web server cloud 27 and give the latest tag. Okay, if I'll press enter, so see what is happening here. Something they given, right? They are not basically giving you some best sale screen or something like that. Make sense? Okay. Why so? Because see what I done. If you remember why we created this test Python v2 image, for only one reason, right? To use the
Run the
Python,
Python. Yeah.
right? So similarly, this particular container I just created for what? To start the HTTPD package, right? So that's what they are saying, that we already started the HTTPD package and they're not giving me any command or something here to run, because see Python was giving us a terminal screen. Make sense? So that's why we are able to write the Python code directly. Okay. But as in the case of HTTPD, they are not going to give us any screen or something, right? Because in HTTPD, what will happen if the HTTPD is started? That's it, right? So that's why this type of the screen they are not giving it here. If I'll close it using the control C like this, okay, and if I'll show you Docker ps-a, what you are seeing here, container got exited 5 seconds ago. Okay. But if you'll see, okay, it is not making bigger, but you are seeing here, they are saying that what I done is I run a command. And what command? Slash usr slash sbin slash httpd. This command basically they are running. Okay. So that's why you'll be not able to see all these things. So what you have to do is, okay, what you have to do is, uh, whenever you are starting the container, okay, whenever we are starting the container from this type of the image in which basically we are hosting the website or something, right? So if you want to go forcefully inside this, then there will be a way something like this slash bin slash bash. Let me just check it. Will it work? Yeah, this is going to work. Okay. Docker run -it, and then purposely I'm mentioning that inside this particular image you have to run a command called slash bin slash bash. And since they run that command, that's why we got the terminal here. But if I'll do here the command called ps-aux, okay, so okay, they forgot to run that. Okay, let me just check it whether HTTPD package is running or not here. So curl is available. Okay, curl is available. So curl localhost. Just give me a second. So see, this is not connecting because see, when you are running this particular image right forcefully, and and you are saying that don't run this command, okay, don't run this command and run this particular command, then what is happening? They are not starting the HTTPD package or something like that. But the previous thing, like if you'll go in the /var /www/html, right, and here if I okay, that is also not present, that is wired, right? Okay, no, actually I use the cat command, right? So here I'll write the index.php, then it will work. So see, index.php file is already present inside this. That means we are already present inside this container. Container is good, right? The problem here is whatever the command I wanted to run, that as soon as this container will start, a command should run. What command? Systemctl start HTTPD1, right? But that is not able to run it. Why? Because I retend to run some different command. I set them to give me the bash shell, don't run this command, right? And that's why HTTPD package is not started. That's why we are not able to see the website, anything like that. Make sense? Okay. So make sure if you write any command whenever you are starting the container, okay, whenever you are starting the container, you are purposely mentioning some command, then whatever the command you return to run in the Docker file, that will be overwritten. Okay, basically this is going to give more priority as compared to this one. Okay, now let's again exit it, and this time again I'm going to start the container, but this time I'm not giving any command or something. They will create whatever it is written in the Docker file, and I know that I don't want any interactive terminal or something else. I will just write it here D. D means start this container in the background. That means just keep this container running. I don't want to do anything inside this container, because I know that as soon as this container is going to be started, that particular HTTPD package will start and my website will be visible. So I will just option write D. What is going to happen now? If you write D, container got started. If you do the Docker PS, you'll see that your container is running. 5 seconds ago, somebody created the container. It is currently running only. And they run that particular command, right? And it is exposing the port 80. That means website is running on port 80. Okay. Now, if I want to see the website, okay, what is the website running inside this Docker container? How I can do it? Anybody? Like if just remember that in the EC2 instance, when I hosted some website in any of the EC2 instance, right? So how I was able to see the website content in the browser? Anybody remember? If the EC2 inside any EC2 instance, HTTPD package was running, right? So how we are able to see the website? We are copying the public IP, right? And we are pasting it in the browser on the port 80, and we are able to see the website. Yes or no?
Yes.
So exactly same thing you can do it here also. But what is the IP address of your Docker? Is this is your IP address of Docker container that is running? No, this is the IP address of my EC2 instance. Make sense?
Yeah.
So what is my IP address of this Docker container? That will be able to know it from inside this machine, right? So I will say that Docker, do one thing. Can you inspect? Inspect means you have to get some information, okay? Of which container? What is the name of my this Docker container? This one. So you can just copy the Docker container name, or you can just copy the container ID and just paste it. The Docker you have to inspect, get me some information about this container. And Docker will clearly say that, okay, after finding all the things, I am finding that this is your IP address, 172.17.0.2. Okay, I will copy this IP address. Okay, and to go to any website, using the command line, what is the command? Curl, write the IP address, go to the port 80. That's it. Are we able to see the website? Welcome to Docker Web Server Cloud 27, right? Background color orange. Make sense?
Yeah.
You're seeing it in the black and white terminal because this is not the browser, right? But my goal is they are able to show this website, right? So our website is running here, okay? But now the thing is, will my customer or the client, like take an example, you are the customer, okay? And you want to access this particular website. Will you able to access this website from your laptop using this particular IP address? What do you think? No, right?
No.
If I will copy this and if I'll go to any of my browser, like I am a customer now, if I'll try to hit it, this is not going to work because this is the private IP, right? Who can access this private IP? The person who is inside this EC2 instance. Okay. that can only access this IP address. Then how the people from outer world will be able to see this exactly same website? Okay. So for that, Docker say that do one thing, like say Docker PS. Currently our container is running, right? This container is hosting your website on the port 80. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
And this container does not have any public IP. But will be able to connect to this public IP address? What do you think? If as a customer perspective, everybody can connect to this public IP address, right? This is easily available. So if I'll copy this public IP and currently if I'll try to paste it on the port 80, nothing will be running because no HTTPD package is running on my EC2 instance. It is running inside the Docker container. So website will be not visible here. Okay. But this public IP, anybody can reach it from the outer world because this is the public IP. It is exposed to the internet. So what I can do is I can say to this Docker container, do one thing that whenever you will start this particular Docker container, okay, then whatever the website is running in the port 80 inside the Docker container, can you map it to the port 8080 or 8081 to the EC2 instance? Okay. So basically what is going to happen is customer is going, what is my goal is? Okay. My goal is on this particular IP address, anybody can come, right? So if I am saying it here that if somebody is going to write it here port 8081 or port 8080, take an example for now. Okay. If somebody is going to write on the port 8080, so what is going to happen? Basically, they are connecting to this particular EC2 instance on the port 8080. Okay. Now the first thing, will they able to connect to the port 8080 to this particular EC2 instance? Currently, no. Why? In the security group, if you see port 8080 is not allowed. Make sense?
Mhm.
So we have
Yeah.
to allow this particular port. Then only they will be able to connect to it. And from where this number 8080 or 8081 is, I'm getting it. This is just a random number. Why? I will tell you. So this is just a random number that is open port in the Linux. I'm just going in the security group and I'm going to open a few more ports here. So I will just click on edit inbound role and I'm saying add role and I'm allowing the custom only and I'm saying that let's allow the port from 8080 to 8085. I'm allowing 6 port basically 8080, 8081, 8082, 8083, 8084, 8085. This many ports I allowed. Okay. And simply who can see this website anywhere from the world. Now, since I updated the rule, right? So now from the anybody in the world will be able to come to this particular IP on the port 8080. If I'll refresh this, still it is not going to see any website or something. Why? Because now you are able to connect to this particular EC2 instance on the port 8080. Okay, well and good because now it is open. But the thing is on the port 8080, nothing is running in your EC2 instance. Make sense?
Mhm.
Currently, nothing is running on the port 8080. This is just a random number we did read taken, right? And how I can verify also that whether on port 8080 something is running or not currently, we can write a command called netstat-tnlp. This will give you the idea that how many ports are open. So see, they're saying that, okay, port 22, somebody is using you. Why? Because that is for the SSH, right? Similarly, some more, they are using it for the container, for some other things process, but there is nothing on the port 8080 is currently running. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm deleting all the container, whatever we created till now, docker remove -f dollar docker container ls -a -q. And now I'm saying that Docker do one thing. Let's run a container -it and give the take the image this one only roy/web server cloud 27 latest. And we have to start the container in the background because I don't want to do anything. As soon as this container will start, website will be visible. So option D here. And then I'm saying that Docker run the container. Okay, start the container. And one more thing you have to do. What? So basically what is happening currently is whenever this container is getting started, right? So you are hosting the website on the port 80. So I am saying you that, okay, host the website on the port 80. Okay. But if somebody is reaching to the EC2 instance on the port 8080, then please map them to the port 80 of your container. Is this making sense? What I'm saying is if somebody is going to reach to the port 8080 of this particular EC2 instance, right? That means if somebody is going to come to port 8080, okay, on this particular EC2 instance, then what you have to do is please take that traffic and route it to the port 80 of your container. Make sense?
Okay, yeah.
And now if I'll press enter, container got started. If I'll do docker ps, it will be exactly same like that. But here this time it is showing one more time. Previously it was showing port 80/TCP, right? Now it is saying what I can do is in my container, my website is running on the port 80 only. Okay, but what can extra I can do is since you mapped the port, so if somebody will try to come to the port 8080 of your EC2 instance from the outer world, then I will map them also to the port 80 of my container. Okay, so the benefit here is, and now even if you type the command called netstat-tnlp, so what it is saying, are you able to see now port 8080? It is just like a proxy server now. It got created. Okay. And since you opened this, so now you'll see here if somebody is refreshing the page, seeing the website.
Yeah.
Basically, we redirected the traffic because our Docker container does not have the internet, right, directly. So they cannot go to the outer world. We cannot connect to their IP 172.17.0.2. Okay. So that's why what we done is we mapped it to the EC2 instance. So basically now what is happening is if you curl the website on the 172.17.0.2 on the port 80. So previously also this website was visible, right? But now the thing is, even if we are going to curl this particular IP address, what is the private IP address here? This private IP, right? This is the private IP of my EC2 instance. Even if you'll try to curl on this particular private IP, wait, it should open, right? Okay, I made it to the port 8080. So that's the thing. Just give me a second. Yeah, we made it to the port 8080, right? So if from the EC2 instance, if I'm going to the port 8080, we are able to see this website. Okay, and in the Docker, we clearly said that if somebody is going to come to the port 8080, you have to basically redirect the traffic to the port 80, and that's why this website is visible. Make sense?
Yes.
Now, the why we created this type of the setup, because this type of the hosting of the website we were doing previously also directly on the EC2 instance, right? But previously what was happening was in a single EC2 instance, how many web server you were able to create? Only one. Remember? Because when we created the load balancer setup, we launched 3 different EC2 instances, right? And every time I am refreshing the page, they were connecting to some different IP, right? Now there is a single EC2 instance is running, but I can run multiple web server here. So let me just do one thing. I will just write one more time Docker you have to run. Okay, and this time you cannot map it again another container on port 8080. This time I am saying if somebody will come to the port 8081, then you have to map it to the again new container. Okay, if you want to give mention some container name or something, that also you can do, right? Hyphen name, OS1, something like this also you can do. So now what is going to happen if I do docker ps? So one more container got started. Okay, let me just clear it out and again type it docker ps. So see, one more container got started, and this time they are saying if somebody will come to the port 8081, I will forward the traffic to the OS1 container. If somebody will come to the port 8080, I will transfer the traffic to this container. Okay, and how I can verify both are working? So again, I will copy this particular IP address and just change the last letter 8081. So see, this is connecting to a different container. This is connecting to a different container. How you will be able to see, anybody, that this is coming from some different container. This is coming from some different container. By seeing this website content, how you will be able to see? Anybody? Are you seeing any difference between these two? Yes or no?
Yes.
That IP address, right?
Yeah.
This is the IP address of our container one. This is the IP address of the container. Make sense? And that was the exactly same thing happening in the AWS classes also, right? Whenever we are connecting, they were showing this private IP, again some other private IP, like that way. So exactly same way. If I'll connect to the port 8081, I'll be always be connected to the 0.3 only. 8080 0.2 only. And why I am able to connect to 8080 and 8081? Because we opened the security group, right, from 8080 to 8085. Okay, and inside the machine here, inside this particular EC2 instance, we mapped it. And since we mapped it, that's why if you type this command netstat-tnlp, See, both the things are working, port 8080 and 8081 proxy. That's why we are able to route the traffic. Similarly, somebody saying, can you start one more container? So see how faster it is to start one more web server. I will just change the name here and I will change the port mapping to the port 8082. That's it. One more container got started. Let me just write one more. Basically, I'm showing you that how powerful Docker is, that we can run 5 to 6 server in a single EC2 instance only without any problem. Again, I'm creating with 8084 also, and I'm changing the name to the OS4 and 8085 also. Even all of you can try, just try to write this particular IP address. Let me just paste you. Copy this IP, I'm pasting it in chat. Just try to change port 8080 to 8085. We'll be able to see the website on each. One time you can try 8080, then 8081, 8082 like this, and just check that whether the website is coming or not.
Yes, coming.
Right, and check the changing the port working every time you are connected to a new container. So if you'll see here, port 8080 connecting to the 0.2, 8081 connecting to 0.3, 8082 is connecting to 0.4, 8083 is connecting to 0.5, 8084 is connecting to 0.6, and 8085 is connecting to 0.7. Okay, so all the containers are running, and from locally here also I will see that docker ps command. So we are seeing that this many containers, 6 containers are running, and we are mapped with the port 8080, 8081, 8082. That's why they are saying any of the container is going to be shut down. Take an example, I am setting docker, can you stop this particular container? Which container? OS2. OS2 is basically your 8082. Okay, or let me just do 8081, OS1. As soon as I'm pressing enter, this container got stopped. If I'll do docker ps, that particular container 8081 is not working. Since 8081 is not working, so now if somebody is going to refresh this page, port 8081, this is not going to work. Okay, it will fail. Make sense? Again, I will start that docker. Can you start this particular container again, OS1? As soon as I will start, this container is going to be started. 8081 mapping is done. So now I will try to refresh this page. Website will start to again come. Okay. But the problem here again, the problem is, right? What is the problem here? Like as a customer perspective, do you think that this is feasible that I'm giving them that, okay, I'm fixing you the IP address, but keep changing the port. Like if 8080 is not working, go with 8081. If 8081 is not working, go with 8082. Will it be feasible? What do you think? For the customer perspective, if some website google.com is saying you that just try to access it on the port 8080. If it is not working, try to access it on the port 8081 or 8082. So will it make sense? No, right? Our goal should be, I will just hit a single URL, okay, and whichever the website is coming, like take an example, port 8081 was not working. So they should not redirect us to that. If I'll refresh this page, automatically will be redirected to some different IP, right? So that type of the things, basically the load balancer type of the setup we require on top of this. Make sense? That there will be a single URL which will be redirecting our traffic to all these ports. Okay. So these all things can be automated with the help of the Kubernetes. Docker is basically helping you to the provision the things. Okay. Now how to make it more structured, more good, more customer friendly, right? All these things we will be doing it with the Kubernetes. Make sense? And Kubernetes will be internally using Docker only to provision all these things. So Kubernetes is just like a management tool, okay, which will help us to manage these all things. So if some container is going down, so the duty will be of the Kubernetes to make that container again up. Like currently I start the container manually, right? If that container was stopped. But in case of the Docker Kubernetes, I will show you as soon as some container is going to be terminated or it is deleted, it's the duty of the Kubernetes to create one more. Make sense? Like in our class of the AWS auto scaling group was doing it, right? If some EC2 instance is getting deleted or more load is coming, it's the duty of auto scaling group to launch more. Okay. So this all things will be done by the Kubernetes. So till here, up to here, if anybody have any question in your mind, you can just ask.
I will do some practice and I will ask you so tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, so concept is clear, right? This one, whatever I tried to explain you today, that why we are mapping the port, these all things, right? Because directly you cannot reach to this particular IP. Okay. So you have to map it to this. Why we are mapping it to the EC2 instance? Because our EC2 instance is already mapped with a public IP. And since it is a map with a public IP, so other people from the outer world can reach it. Make sense? So that's that thing. And not only this, if somebody is going to copy this private IP and you are just coming inside the EC2 instance. So from here also, if you try to just cull, right, this private IP and from port 8080. So it will refer you to port 0.2 only. If I'll do 8081, so it will refer us to 0.3 only, right? This exactly same thing they mapped it internally also, and they mapped it with the public IP also. And since from the outside the world, I cannot access this private IP, I have to go with public IP URL only. That's why we are using 13.233 here like that. Okay, so the main benefit of the Docker is they are fast in provisioning. Okay, like if we require any container or something, what we have to do? Just we have to hit this command one more time and one more container or web server will be running in fraction of second. Okay, we don't have to wait it. That is the benefit. So now last thing I have to show you is to how to upload the image. So let me just delete all the container whatever we created till now. Okay, here dollar docker container ls. So I deleted everything. Okay. So no website will be visible now. Okay, even if you will try to refresh the page or something, nothing is going to be visible because I deleted everything. Okay, so this is going to fail eventually, all this thing. Okay, so all these are going to fail like this. Okay, so once this is done, now my goal is, okay, that this is the image currently present in my local machine, docker images. Okay, I want to just upload this image to the docker app, so anytime by mistake I deleted this image or some other person also want to use this particular image only, then how they will be able to do. So first I will write the command called docker login. They will ask for the username. I will type the username here of my account, docker hub account. I will write the password here. Okay, password is wrong. Wait, just give me a second. Okay, login is succeeded. Okay, so username and password you written, docker login. Your if everything will be correct, that username and password, then you will be connected. What credential we are giving? Basically, we are giving the credential of this docker hub account. Currently, you are not seeing any. Currently, you are not seeing anything here about the cloud 27 or something related image here. Okay, nothing you're seeing it here. So what we have to do here is we have to upload the image, right? So once we logged into this account, we'll simply say docker, can you push which image? I want to push this image, right? It's an it / web server cloud 27 latest. So this image just I want to push it. I will press enter. They will try to upload this image. It is just like a get push command type of the thing only. And they will upload this image, and once the image will be uploaded, then we'll be able to see it from the docker website. Refresh this page, you will see that your image is now uploaded here. Okay, web server cloud 27 just now got updated few seconds ago. Okay, so we are able to see the image. If anybody want to pull this image, okay, so if I'll go in the public view, they will write the command here, docker pull this particular command. You have to just type it. Anybody can see it now from the outer world also if they will give this name. Okay, so if somebody is going to use this command, before that let me just do one thing. Currently images is present here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm deleting this image. So how to delete any image? You can simply write the command called docker remove image, RMI, and then give the image name. So I can simply hit / web server cloud 27. So if I'll delete this particular image now, if I'll do the Docker images, see there is no images present now, right? With the name called Roy Kisanet, that image got deleted. And since the image got deleted, now this particular image is not present. If I want to pull this image, Docker images. So currently that image is not present. If I'll come here, I will copy this command docker pull one, right? And we'll just try docker pull. I want to pull this particular image. Okay, with the latest version, I want to pull it. I'll press enter and see they are trying to download that image. And once the image will be downloaded, now again, if I'll see docker images, so see that particular images is there. Okay, again it came back. Okay, and once this image came back, now again I can start the container that docker run -dit and they start the container from the image called roykisanet/web server cloud 27 from the latest tag and map it to the port 8080. Okay, so -p port 8080, map it to the port 80 of the docker container. That's it. This has got started. So now the port 8080 website will start to come again. Exactly same. So you can upload the image, then anybody in the world can now download this particular image. Okay, we don't have to worry about, just we'll write the command here. Basically the pull command, they will give that docker pull. You have to pull this particular image, whatever the image name I just written. Okay, and they will be able to download it. So just practice up to here. Okay, and the next class will be starting with the Kubernetes. Okay, thanks a
Okay,
lot.
sir. Thank you.